Before Katrina and the Waves, I wrote and played songs in Cambridge. And now, I write and play songs in Cambridge. In between, I've had this global hit that's made me very comfortable. Kimberly Rue, English rock singer-songwriter, member of Katrina and the Waves, and writer of their biggest hit. Reaching number 4 in Australia, number 9 in the US, and number 8 in the UK was just the start of the single's legacy, as it would go on to feature in everything from films like High Fidelity and American Psycho, to TV ads and shows like Futurama, to video games like Just Dance 2023 and The Sims 4, where the vocals were translated into the game's Simlish language. The song's reach is far, deep, and wide, but its origins are anything but. Quote, I'd love to say this song relates to a significant event in my life, like walking out of my front door, seeing a comet, and being inspired. But it's just a piece of simple fun, an optimistic song, despite us not being outstandingly cheery people, said Rue. The song's upbeat nature was initially a point of contention for the band, with frontwoman Katrina Leskanich feeling, quote, it wasn't really us, and bassist Vince De La Cruz found the song to be irritating. Nevertheless, the piece was put together in 1983, intended for their debut album, but the initial recording would not see the light of day, perhaps because the song wasn't resonating with all of the band members. Quote, up until the time it was a hit, it was just another song, said Rue. While the initial recording never got to take the world by storm, a 1985 re-recording would. The version that became a hit was released for their self-titled album at that same year, and was also released as the second single for that album. The band wouldn't see success anywhere near what they had with this single until 12 years later in 1997, when the group won the Eurovision Song Contest for the UK with their song Love Shine a Light. Of course, even this hit didn't reach the global heights of their 1985 classic. I guess this proves that the sun outshines love. That's right, we're talking Katrina and the Waves, Walking on Sunshine on Cover Me, Summer of Sun.
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, and it's time to feel good. Hey.
That's right, it's Cover Me, Summer of Sun, the only podcast that compares famous songs loosely related to the sun to their many cover versions to find out which one feels good. I'm your host, as always, The Snake, joined by my weekend co-host,
Alex Mildenberger.
It's
the
Reporting in
weekend.
for the weekend shift. What's going on?
Yeah, it's the weekend, man. Nothing's going on. We're just relaxing, you know?
Relaxing. That's what the weekend's about,
That's what
dude.
the weekend's for.
Hell yeah. 9 to 5, relaxing. And then after
Yeah.
hours, double relaxing.
Double relaxing. Don't even move.
That's right. Catatonic.
Just melt.
Just fucking melt, brother. I tell you, I got a big fat, well, he's a former fat cat living with me at the moment. But
Okay.
he's still got all his, like, fat.
Still
skin.
got all his money.
Yeah, he's like Austin Power. Yeah, he's got all his money. He's still quite wealthy. He's like Fat Bastard in Goldmember, where he's still got all his skin flaps.
Oh, of course.
But when he like lays down, he looks like he's melted.
He's melted. My sister's cat's a bit like that, but not that extreme.
Okay.
Wow.
More
Flappy
that
cat.
Scottish, perhaps.
Can it fly? Wait, can it glide when you...
Yeah,
I mean, cats are good at falling
had that
anyway.
thought. I was like, maybe he's part flying squirrel, and I
Yeah.
just never know though. He's an abject coward. His whole lifestyle here is hide under my bed until it's about food time, and then come out and kind of be like, "Hey, where's the food at?"
Okay. That sounds cat-like to me.
Yeah, it's fairly cat-like. These cats, they love their food. That's what I'm thinking about because they keep me up all night.
All night.
All fucking night. Well, more like all morning, but, you know. In the sleeping hours, Alex. Alex, so I'm not walking on sunshine this week. How are you?
No, am I walking on sunshine? I wasn't earlier, but we've got the sun's back. It's summer again for the kind of end of summer, you know, where it's
The
wrapping
dog
up.
days of summer, baby.
I thought that was the hottest part.
Yeah, well,
But
it's hot right
we'll
now.
see.
I don't know about you, dog. We got smoke out here. Also, I can't have the windows open so these cats don't fuck kill themselves.
Oh, yeah. And half the country is on fire? Definitely half the
That's
province.
correct. Now, Alex, I just looked up dog days, and apparently it's July 3rd to August 11th.
Oh, we're basically out of that then.
We're basically, by the time this is out, it'll be done.
Yeah, it'll be done.
The dog days of summer are over, folks.
Dog days are over. It's been said.
The hot and humid period of summer between early July and early September. So depending on your sources, we're just right and still in the thick of it.
Okay. Well, I met a new dog yesterday. Just a person who lived in my building, so that's cool.
Okay.
It's a
Did you make
dog
friends
day
with
for
the
me.
dog or the person?
Hmm?
Did you make friends with the dog or the person?
Well, a little bit of both.
What's the dog's name?
Hermione.
Get out of there, Alex. Cut off ties right away.
Apparently not named after Harry Potter.
Named after what then?
Veronica
Hermione
Lodge's
Granger?
mother.
Veronica Lodge's mother.
Yeah, from Archie.
Ah, okay, Alex. Hitting with our plus 60 crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe Zoomers, there was the Riverdale series.
Maybe.
But none of that has anything to do with the hit band Katrina and the Waves.
Katrina
Alex.
and the Waves, no. They weren't even a band in Archie. That was
No.
Sabrina and the Waves? No.
Was it the Waves?
It
No.
was but Sabrina wasn't a band. It was Josie and the Pussycats.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Right?
Yeah, that's correct, I believe. And
They
then
were
Archie and
affiliated.
the Archers.
Archers? Archie and... The Archies. It was the Archies.
The Archie. They're just called
Yeah.
the Archies. You're right, Alex.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, the
guys,
number one
that
song
does
of
it for today's
1969.
episode of Archie Fun Facts.
Fun facts.
Hit us again next time when we try to remember the name of the malt shop.
Pops.
Okay,
Pops
Alex.
Chocolate
Well,
Shop.
we just shot a whole episode there.
All right, perfect. We can use that for next time.
Use that for next time. Alex, Katrina and the Waves, they got one song.
Yeah.
It's a song
Technically
that,
two, but one.
yeah, they got, have you ever heard Love Shine a Light?
Nope, didn't even listen to it this week.
No, why would I? tried listening to some of their other stuff because they talked a lot in their quotes about how, like, oh, we're kind of like, we don't have big hair. We didn't look anything like a Motown influenced group. We're more new wavy and like kind of,
Sure.
but didn't seem like that. They didn't seem like a goth band or anything.
Yeah, sometimes they say that, and it's like, well, I don't know. Is it that different? Like, you're still kind of a pop band, and maybe it's not
Yeah.
that as like forward, excited, and positive stuff. Like, they have a song called
Yeah.
"Cry for Me." I see.
Yeah. And Do You Want Crying? Both on the same album
Oh,
as
yeah.
Walking
Two
on
songs
Sunshine.
about crying. So I don't know.
Yeah, so like this doesn't feel as outlandish to me as it does to them. But of course, this is my introduction to them and pretty much my ending point. Whereas for them,
Mhm.
as he kind of said, it was just another song until it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's very funny to see them like come to terms with it. Like Katrina is like, yeah, people come up to me all the time and say that they like sang it at their wedding, and then they can sing the whole thing to me. And she talks about there's like a 2020 quote. She's like, "Oh, I've come to terms with the fact that this song is going to outlive me."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's
Yeah, it's always funny here. I mean, it would be very strange. I mean, obviously, like, they dedicate their whole life to this thing, right? And a lot of this happens to a lot of like one-hit wonder types, and then you just have this one song that, according to them, they don't even really think necessarily that highly of, or you didn't think that much about, and it's like, oh, this is the hit for some reason, and now it's our one hit. We're known for it. It's like a signature song, and like we don't like. It's not that they dislike it necessarily, but
yeah, it's just,
Why
they're just
that
like,
one?
hey, I guess that's the one.
yeah. And as artists, it's like, what about everything else I've done? And everyone's like,
Yeah.
woo, Walking on Sunshine.
I mean, you play a song called "Do You Want Crying," and then the response is no. Apparently,
No,
So
I want to walk on sunshine.
on Sunshine. This one metaphorically about the sun. We're kind of in line with the sun this week.
Yeah,
It's there. It's it came
There's
last
still
week.
sun.
Here comes the sun. Now it's still here, baby.
hmm
Yeah. Do you like this song, Alex?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I
Is
mean,
it possible to not like this song?
I know, like,
mean-
it's not an offensive song. I don't think. I just can't imagine. Maybe you'd think it'd be too simplistic or something like that. Simplistic. Simplistic. Or something. I don't know, but it's a very upbeat, positive song about being happy about things going on.
Yeah, it's very like loose in what it's talking. I guess it's talking about a relationship, but the person also isn't there, which is very strange.
Well, it seems to be like I've thought it was like a long distance relationship becoming not that?
Yeah.
Becoming
But then,
short
yeah,
distance?
it's very strange because then I mean, we might as well just talk about the lyrics since we're talking around them. But like verse 2, they're like, I don't want you back for a short period of time. I want you back all the time. So, it's a weird song. But yeah, very happy, very joyful. It starts with ow, yeah. Now, yeah, not a normal response to ow, which is typically a cry of pain.
Typically, yeah. What's up? What's going on there? Maybe we'll never know.
We'll never know. That's kind of one of those little secrets they tuck into what's otherwise a very simplistic song.
It's really the dark heart of the song.
That's right. For every light, there must be a shadow, and the shadow of this song is tucked right in the beginning there.
Exactly. When they say ow.
Although perhaps not if you're walking on sunshine, like directly on it. Because then the shadow would be up above you.
It'd be above you.
I get, makes you think. I used to think maybe you loved me, now baby, I'm sure.
It's kind of like how in JoJo, part 5, when like your soul casts a shadow. It's not like that at all.
It's not like that at all. When does your soul, is that?
It's like right at the end with the Requiem stuff, and then they're like, oh, we gotta find this thing, and it's like he's hiding in the shadow of your soul or something like that. So you have to like move.
Doing there?
Maybe I
Things
misunderstood
get pretty,
what was going on there.
Pretty loose at the end of part 5 there.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, you end up in a turtle one way or the other.
Yeah.
And here we end up talking about how I used to think maybe you loved me, now baby, I'm sure. And I just can't wait till the day when you knock on my door. And every time I go for the mailbox, I've got to hold myself down because I just can't wait till you write me. You're coming around.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just reads as a long distance relationship. Like they're apart a lot, but they want to hear from this person, and they want them to visit forever.
Yeah, but so this raised the question: why are they now sure of this love that was only a maybe before?
I used to think maybe you love me, oh baby, I'm sure. No, that's true. Why is now different? I guess it could be like any number of reasons. Maybe it's part of their correspondence. Maybe when they moved away, they're like, now I know because I can't stop thinking about you.
Yeah, so I would say our inciting event of this joy is a little unclear. I'm not saying I need clarity on that. I don't think this song needs. Most people, I think it's just the chorus, right?
Yeah.
All this shit about a long distance relationship. Honestly, I don't fucking care.
I'm just walking on sunshine.
Yeah. I can't wait till the day you knock on my door. It's interesting that's an anticipation song, too. You'd think Walking on Sunshine would be like the good times are here.
Right. It's just like Walking on Sunshine just makes like they do it when they think of the other person kind of thing.
Yeah. And they're too excited. They got to hold themselves down when they go for the mailbox. Now, this is an experience completely foreign to the modern human being. Because you get nothing but bills in the mail. Am I right, folks?
But things were different in the 1980s because they hadn't invented electronic mail, or at least it wasn't widespread. I don't know exactly when
we had electronic drums,
but not mail.
But not electronic mail.
You could send electronics in the mail. It was a different thing. Anyway,
you could send beats in the mail, but you could not
send beats in the mail, but you couldn't send them electronically. I mean, you maybe could, but like the internet wasn't widespread.
No, if you were in DARPA, you could send each other electronic mail.
Use ARPANET, yeah. I don't know. Did we have file transfer protocols? Probably.
FTP, boy. But what we did have was mail, and we would have pen pals or long distance relationships, and that's how you wrote letters. That's how you communicated. You wouldn't just send a text. You wouldn't just drop a TikTok.
Think about what you said, man.
Man, you couldn't just say sorry, typo, LOL.
LOL.
Because there was no online to laugh on. Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
Did you ever have a pen pal in school?
No. I think we sometimes wrote letters to soldiers, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think
or firemen.
We had pen pals, but I don't remember anything about what I ever talked to them about or wrote them about. Like, I don't remember reading or writing the letters. I just kind of vaguely remember that we did it in school.
Okay, I do remember that as well. I don't remember getting correspondence.
Yeah.
Because it probably would have been like, please do not contact me again.
Please never contact me again.
I don't want to hear about Pokemon. I'm like, okay. But, just like my dad, okay.
All right, okay.
We had to send a letter in junior high, though, as like an assignment to prove that we could write correctly on postcards.
Learning to write letters, and it was like, this is how you address them, and this is.
Yeah.
And I have not had to use that except for writing a cover letter, which is also kind of a dated practice.
I mean, yeah, it's still digital now.
It's still digital. It's like a Word document, but it's like I still address it like it's a real letter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's fucking bizarre.
Job applications, very strange.
Yeah, all this to say, writing letters, strange, anachronistic. Every time I go for the mailbox, this is people. Please, Mr. Postman, do we talk about that song, or do I just think about that song sometimes?
We talked about "We Really Got a Hold."
That's
on
right.
Me.
Which the Beatles also do a cover of.
Yeah, on the same
Please,
Beatles
Mr.
album.
Postman on the same album. Similar concept there, though. That's just a whole song about what are these like 4 lines.
Yeah.
Love is in the mail. You've got mail? Hey, that's kind of the turning point of long distance love relationships to digital ones. The hit film, You've Got Mail.
Hit film, You've Got Mail. Yeah, I do like the imagery here that like every time I go for the mailbox, I have to hold myself down like they're like a little yappy dog that like
yeah, down.
That's just like nipping at the mailbox.
Yeah,
they're so excited, or
excited.
they're like flying, or like
yeah,
the
like
metaphor
they're
of like I'm floating. I feel like I'm floating.
yeah, exactly, because they're so happy they're floating.
Yeah.
They're defying gravity. Like in the hit film Wicked. It's not a film yet.
Yeah, is that film out yet? I think it is soon.
No, I think it's soon. But yeah, I do picture this person like their legs lifting up and them clinging to like a large red mailbox.
It does feel like those old timey mailboxes that have the little flag on them too. I don't know why.
They're British too, so it's like it's got to be old timey.
It's gotta be
It's the old country. No,
the old country.
But yeah, they're excited to receive correspondence. We all feel that excitement for correspondence.
Yeah, I mean, if I got a legit, I do kind of get excited about mail, but it's never the mail always disappoints.
Yeah,
but packages are nice.
Yeah, but I always expect those, right? I'm usually expecting a package.
True.
Plus, now I gotta go to the post office to get it because people are stealing my packages. It's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, I haven't sent it to that PO box.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what else is in this actual verse, but that's kind of the
Listen,
sentiment
man,
there.
we did a good solid 10 on letter writing.
On letter writing.
Whether or not electronic mail existed in any form in the 80s.
No one knows.
We pretty much covered this from every angle.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Oh, we got it.
Unneeded.
Arguably.
You're excited to get correspondence from the person you love, possibly because, like you said, they've confirmed they're coming back forever, baby.
Yeah, that seems to be the focus of the song.
That is certainly the focus on the song, unless you consider the chorus the focus of the song, which I do, in which case it's about doing the impossible. Now I'm walking on sunshine, whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
I'm walking on sunshine, whoa,
Whoa.
whoa. I'm walking on sunshine,
Whoa,
whoa.
whoa.
Don't it feel good? Hey, all right now. Don't it feel good? Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty straightforward chorus. How excited they
Yeah.
are. They throw in their little walking on sunshine metaphor. I don't know if that metaphor existed before this song. Surely it did,
I'm not
right?
sure. Surely it must have.
But yeah, I have no idea.
That's a great question. But yeah, it's very simple. It's like it provides clarity, which, as we all know, was the main export of the British invasion.
Clarity?
Clarity, according to Richard.
Oh, right, according to what we learned last week.
That's right. See, look at me, remembering things.
Is this British invasion? They are British, though.
They are British. I was surprised to find out they're British. Is it part of the invasion in 85?
It would be late.
Not really. Some might say, the invasion is never over.
Yeah.
But,
the invasion. The British invasion.
The British invasion. When did it come into being? What does Walking on Sunshine
60s.
mean in slang? Yeah. Yes. No, the British invasion was the 60s. We talked about that.
Yeah.
It's very recently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can't find an origin date for Walking on Sunshine, so yeah, I'm going to say that this is it.
Yeah.
Kimberly Rue made it.
I was surprised that the band was British, but Katrina is like she was born in Kansas.
She's American. Yeah.
She moved to the UK when she was 16.
Yeah, because her dad is
So,
like
yeah.
a U.S. soldier
Yeah.
who's working at U.S. Army bases, which is then how not the Waves, but Katrina's like cover band got shows.
Yeah.
So initially the Waves existed, which I think was Vince De La Cruz and Kimberly Rue. Kimberly leaves to join the Soft Boys, and then the other guy, De La Cruz, joins with Katrina to do these cover shows because she basically, her thing was she had access to all these USO performances. She could just be like, hey, I'm American. Book me for your army base. And they're like,
Right.
great. Some American talent. And then Rue links back up with them. They become Katrina and the Waves. And then we get this. So yeah, it's a very weird origin story. That also
Yeah.
makes sense as to why she doesn't sound remotely British.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense that way. But they are England based, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
And enough to be in Eurovision because they won Eurovision.
Yeah, I guess she must be, she maybe is a UK citizen at
Yeah.
some point.
I do like, did you go to their website?
I did not.
It has like, the main page is like 2 sections for their 2 hit songs. It's great.
Okay. That's part. What else do you need?
That's the band.
That's the band. So the line "Walking on Sunshine,"
Yeah,
in case
lyrics.
you're somebody who like needs a genius annotation on it, means you're feeling good, brother. It means
Yeah.
hey, you're at the peak. You're high on life, my man, and life is in high supply, so you're feeling good.
Yeah, is it basically just the same, like, I'm floating, feel like I'm floating thing? I'm like, I'm walking on sunshine because the only thing below you is light.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. It
your
makes
light
you
is
feel
air,
good.
man.
It's
You're walking
vague.
on sunshine.
Whatever.
You're good, and sunshine's good because it's bright.
Yeah.
Here comes the sun, and now you're walking
Shine.
to it on sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't it feel good? Hey, all right
Hey.
now.
Da-na-na-na.
And don't it feel good? And for people who are really confused at this point, because she's asked a question. She's asked it and said, don't it feel good? The answer is, hey, yeah.
Hey. Yeah. Does that make sense? No. But it's pop music. It doesn't have to make
Pop
sense.
music. It's just meant to get the people going. And what's going to get them going more than verse 2?
In verse 2, yeah.
I used to think maybe you loved me. Now I know that it's true. And I don't want to spend my whole life just awaiting for you. Now I don't want you back for the weekend, not back for a day. No. Baby, I said, baby, I just want you back. And I want you to stay. Oh, yeah, now.
Baby, I said baby.
I said, baby.
baby. So, I mean, we just kind of repeat the line at the start. Not exactly, but very similar, right?
Yeah.
It's that
baby,
same
I'm sure
sentiment.
I know that it's true. It's
Of like
fucking-
something happens where they're like, now I'm convinced, even though they
Yes.
were maybe skeptical before. Like they kind of thought it before, and then the rest is okay. The next line is kind of interesting because it almost seems out of place.
Mm.
I don't want to spend my whole life just waiting for you. Like that to me, out of context, just reads as like a kind of sad thing, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I just don't want to spend my life waiting for because they love them or whatever, but they have to wait and they need to treat them or be kind to themselves, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But in this, it's just like they are very optimistic. This whole verse is about how they want them back.
Yeah.
But they're very positive about it, even though like hearing that again out of context makes it seem like they're gone, whereas
Yeah,
they're just like
and
away.
They are away, which is different from being gone. Yeah, it's because especially saying "I want you back" is like its own connotation of like breakups. But yeah, it's a very weird thing that she's like, "Hey, I know you're here to stay now," and then she, for some reason, in verse 2, gets in negotiations where she's like, "I don't want you
Yeah.
just for the weekend, not just for a day. It's got to be the whole thing." And it's like, well, what? This again makes me wonder what the inciting incident of this newfound
Of the
faith
song,
is.
yeah. It does, like, I feel like most, like, the verse lyrics could be used in, like, a breakup kind of delusion song.
Sure.
It'd be like, no, I want you back after a breakup.
Yeah, this could be talking to somebody who maybe comes around every now and then when they need their fix, and they're like, "Hey, I'll come for the weekend, and then I leave," kind of like deadbeat dad energy, but in a lover.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "No, I want you back forever." But this is just somebody's coming back. And she's making it clear that it's not I guess she's just saying, maybe this is to tell us that it's not a temporary thing. That it is for good this time. I mean, I think the simplest solution is that whatever or last correspondence she got is her lover saying, like, baby, I'm coming back for good.
I'm coming home.
I'm coming home.
Like, that did happen.
Yeah.
What was described
so
previously.
that's what clears the doubt. And then that's what enables this song to occur. And then she's kind of maybe just going over that in verse 2 here. She's like, oh, it's not for a day, it's not for the weekend, it's forever, baby.
This is it.
That's what I want.
Because it's reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, yeah, it's a simplistic song. It works well enough. It's more about, I think, the music in a lot of ways. And the chorus, which is huge.
Yeah, which is huge. Now, maybe there is an extra layer to Walking on Sunshine in that when one is doubting something, their mind is often clouded with doubt. And so then here we have the flip of that, where it's just sunshine, baby.
There's no cloud.
There's no cloud.
Everything is clear.
Yes. There's no cloud. One might also say there's no strife. Cloud strife, Alex? Did that land?
Yeah. You could say that. You could.
I've heard people say it. The bridge, walking on sunshine. I feel alive. I feel a love. That's really real. And then we repeat that.
Yeah, because they believe in it's all positive. They believe in this relationship, in this love.
Yeah. I feel alive. I feel a love is a fun, like, vocally. That's fun to hear.
Yeah, it sounds cool, and you can kind of like mix it up. Because I mean, I didn't know exactly what was there. I feel a love. You could just repeat yourself. Alive, a love. Alive, a love.
Alive, a
love.
Alive.
Live, alive.
Live, alive. Speaking of Square games.
We're just all video game references today.
We're on fire with our video gamer. It's all free association on this baby. I think sometimes when the meat is thin on the bones of the lyrics, we just go off, man.
Free associate. Yeah, but like you said, the meat's a bit thin on these bones. The bones are solid, though.
The bones are solid.
And the music works with it too.
I mean, listen, you get this, you get a brass section together, a few instruments and vocals, baby, you got a stew going.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Although we do have to talk about the outro, which is all ad-libs. So,
I'll say it again now. Don't feel good.
Again, don't feel good. Oh yeah, now don't feel good. Now don't it. So like that's really the song.
Oh yeah.
Like,
More
than anything else is the song is just good vibes.
Yeah, it is a good vibe. I mean, there are good vibes in this song. It's full of good vibes.
You could take the verses out entirely. Nobody would even mind.
No, although I don't know, because sometimes that up and down is important, you know? Like, it makes the chorus more triumphant.
Maybe, here is my compromise then. You keep the verses in, but the lyrics are just the choruses, but quieter.
Cut the lyrics.
Or change the lyrics.
Or change the lyrics, yeah.
So your chorus and your verse, same lyrics, but one's done low, one's done regular chorus volume. Now I'm walking on sunshine, whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. I'm walking on sunshine, whoa, I'm walking on sunshine.
Don't feel good.
See, easy, it works. You don't need anything else, but we do need to talk about these instruments.
We do. Okay, intro. I mean, we start very exciting. You know, the drums are very upbeat right from the start. Just drum.
Yeah, hit the cymbal and then hit an upbeat drum rhythm. Real simple.
Yeah, it just really brings us in early. And then, I mean, the horns.
The horns introduced by ow.
Ow. Yes, that's true. We get ow early on. So it's all very, it's excitement. And then, so you get this horn riff, which is pretty central to the song. It doesn't play as much as I thought. It does play more, like, I'm comparing it to Mambo number 5, where it has a horns riff that, like, doesn't come in until, like, late in the song, you know?
That's right.
That I was always like, oh, this is the iconic part of the song, and it plays the whole time, but no. Whereas there's more, but it's still, like, somewhat conservative compared to, in my mind, it's like the whole song.
Yeah, it's like it's after every line. It's like it's break. Like it should just be the whole time.
Yeah, whereas they don't do that, which is good. It's probably good.
Which is good.
Be too much.
Yeah, because it is so punching and energetic, right? You start with that big punching first note. Bam!
Yes. We also have some guitar here already. It's really just strumming chords for now. We're going to get a little
so
more
much
of
of
that
it
later.
is like rhythm for the most part.
Yeah.
In this.
Once the vocals come in for the verse, everything kind of keeps, the guitar and drums are still around, no horns. And then there's an organ too. Like it just really joins in. With the
around the
progression.
mailbox line it comes in.
Yeah. The sort of back half of everything. It's still the chords. The guitar is like strumming, so it's fast. The organ is just slower because it's not playing all those same hits, right?
Yeah.
But it's going. Just being chords.
Yeah, filling out that space.
Filling space, yeah.
Does that bring out maybe a bit of like church vibe to this?
Church vibe?
Yeah, kind of like that.
From the organ,
clean,
yeah?
Fun, feel good. Yeah, from the organ.
Okay. Yeah, I guess anytime organ comes in.
Hey, man. Churches, they got organs.
They do. And church goers do, too.
That's the interesting part.
That church goers have organs?
Yeah, and there's also an organ in the church.
And there's an organ in the church. And
but
they're
if you play the
drinking
church
blood and
goers
eating
organ,
flesh.
That's right. At my church.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the blood and body of Christ, Alex. I thought you were talking about some kind of vampire coven, but no, you're just talking about
just a normal cannibal cult. Come on.
Yeah, sick, cool.
Anyway, so once we get to the chorus, it actually doesn't change all that much.
No, it really doesn't.
With the bass track, especially compared to the back half of the verse. It's different chords. I think it's like 4 chord progression for the verse and then like 2, so it's like a little vamp for the chorus. Dun, dun, walking on sunshine,
Yeah.
Or so.
Yeah, you can hear it on the organ, which I think it's a little fatter in the chorus.
Yeah,
it's a little broader in terms of its sound.
Because it just like keeps playing. It's still not super forward in the mix, but it is like there's a lot of it.
Yeah, and like you said, 2 chords because the bass goes to just like a bump, 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 bump,
which I think is just the again video game reference, invincibility music from Super Mario Bros.
Which, if that's not Walking on Sunshine, what is?
Exactly. But who came first? This song, I think.
This song. Technically recorded in 1983. Some rumors online said that that first recording was actually released in Canada.
Oh.
Which seems very strange.
They did have a distributor in Canada. Like, they didn't have a US distributor for a while. They had, like, a UK and a Canada distributor.
Yeah, but then why would that version just come to Canada and not the UK?
That's a good question. Attic Records or whatever decided they wanted it.
Hey, if you people know the original recording of Walking on Sunshine, let us know.
Yeah. Let us know. If you got a 45, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we're on the chorus. There's a lot of organ in the chorus. So I guess the end of the chorus is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
They, add a bunch of extra harmonies for the last line.
Yeah.
And then to transition to the next section, so they kind of accentuate the guitar a little bit, which is just like, I played louder or something.
Oh, it comes up to basically the same rhythm, but yeah, it's playing higher. It's bam, bam, bam.
So it was playing before. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's less like muted as it was in like the verse. In the verse, it's played like down low, and now they're playing it up high.
Yeah, I guess they might have jumped up. I don't know if it's a whole octave though. It almost seems like it's just louder or sharper, or maybe they switched pickups,
like
or they're strumming a different place.
Tone on it.
Yeah.
They've altered the noise of the guitar.
Yeah, the sound is different.
The sound has changed. But the song remains the same. Don't adjust your radio dial. It's still Walking on Sunshine.
This is what it's supposed to sound like.
So for kids, radios had dials back in the day. Also, we used to listen to music on the radio. The radio was kind of like public Spotify.
Public Spotify. Yeah, exactly. Public Spotify. So now we move to another verse. This one keeps the section transition we've been describing. It plays it between lines. several times. The verse actually also builds quite a bit. It's mostly the organ, I think, that's like increasing in volume kind of thing, like in the mix over the verse. But this is quite like a build verse.
Yeah, I think partially because it's just present for the whole verse this time rather than half of it.
Oh, yeah.
So you get it right off the bat, and then, like you said, you've got that guitar going loud in the breaks between lines. And then, yeah, it doubles up on that organ, doubles up on loudness at the halfway point. So when it was initially introduced in verse 1, it's now double introduced in verse 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're just like they're keeping it mostly the same.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a walking song, and it's got that.
True, it is a walking song.
The song's made for walking, so yeah, it keeps kind of the same structure, really, and then just a little louder, a little extra guitar here.
Yeah, a little oomph. And then even, I mean, yeah, you get into the chorus, kind of more the same. The sounds are switched up a bit, actually, because once you get into the chorus, the guitar kind of has like an effect, like a little like whammy type,
Yeah.
going on when they strum those big chords.
Yeah.
So it's just little things that make it a little more exciting because the general structure, like it's still playing the same chords, different sound, new stuff.
Yeah.
And then finally at the end of this chorus is the triumphant return of the horns riff.
That's right.
Before we
and then from the horns riff to hand claps to a guitar solo.
Yeah.
And then basically to ad-lib, and we hit the I Feel a Love, I Feel Alive section.
Yeah. Is that a bridge?
What does it bridge to? Doesn't it bridge to outro?
Or like a middle eight? Because it's chorus to chorus and then outro. Unless the last chorus is part of the outro. It depends on how you
yeah, I even would call this bridge the outro too.
I guess.
Even though it
sounds a little different, but
yeah, but it does have that like feel of like where I can tell that we're going out the door,
Yeah, true. It's just like the second half of the song basically is outro then.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's the outro to the outro, some might call it. I guess it's a bridge to the outro.
What I will say is that the bridge or middle eight, I didn't count measures. The chord progression is the verse progression. It's not the chorus progression.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a verse then.
It's a verse. Yeah, it's a verse.
It's a
and
verse,
that guitar solo, it's like a one note guitar solo. It's just kind of classic.
We talked about one note guitar solos in California Sun.
Yeah, here's another one. It's rhythmic. It's about the rhythm.
All these songs tie together to weave a beautiful tapestry. It's not just about the sun.
It's not just about the sun. There's more there, probably, if we reach for it.
If we reach for it, and baby, I got long arms, I'm going to reach for it. It's about the British invasion.
You're pretty tall.
Thank you. I worked hard on it. But not too tall, I'd like to say, for the record.
Yeah.
6'3", right at the cutoff, baby.
Yeah.
God's chosen height.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
As it's known, Jesus Christ was also 6'3".
Was also 6'3".
That's actually why they crucified him.
They were really jealous, and everyone was really short back then.
This dude's too fucking big.
We can't. He just get him to get up on the cross himself. We can't.
Yeah, his
enough.
feet were touching the ground when they crucified him. You don't see that in a lot of the art.
Wow, we have a lot of video game and Christianity references in this episode.
I don't know what we're doing today, man.
Interesting theme. That's not the sun we're talking about today.
No, certainly not. That would be a hell of a twist to just be like, it's actually about the Son of God.
So, all right. So we have a bridge. We did the bridge. Once we get into the main riff, we sort of, come back into the chorus, and that's pretty standard. They keep it really exciting for the outro. It's like a party outro, lots of
I feel it.
And that's sort of ad-lib stuff. And it, fades out over about 15 seconds or so. But it's an exciting song. Yeah, it's about feeling good, and it feels good. It's fun to sing along
feels
to.
good.
It's easy enough to try to feel good. I never knew exactly the lyrics. You
didn't need to.
Doesn't matter. You can sing the "I feel good" parts and the
And
that's
the
pretty
don't
much
it
it.
feel
And
good
the sun,
parts
walking on
and-
sunshine parts.
Yeah, walking on sunshine.
And just
Whoa,
about how you
whoa.
feel good and dance
Yeah.
along.
Like even in that outro, like as she's ad-libbing, she makes sure to hit that "Don't it feel good" line
Don't
with
feel
like
good.
regularity, so
Hey.
even you as the listener can be like, "Hey, I know that bit.
It does feel good. It does.
It does feel good." Hey, yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. You know what else feels good is having a music video
Yeah, it does.
taking place in the dusty, shitty streets of England.
Yeah.
Some derelict neighborhood they found.
Yeah, some real like drab abandoned buildings, but I guess that's the sort of contrast of the thing.
Yeah, I do like the kind of the very simple moves here. The dudes in the band, the Waves, are all in this like very British like trench coat look.
Yeah.
Very dark, very somber.
Like
we got
hands in
Katrina.
pockets, just kind of
Hands in
stiff
pockets.
standing around.
Yeah, they wouldn't be out of place in like a noir film. Like they look like real bummers. And you got Katrina, who looks like a youth camp counselor, wearing like a vest
Yeah.
and a white shirt,
Youth
bright
camp
shoes.
counselor. Youth pastor.
Youth pastor.
And so the very beginning is them in this like gray and brown like brick building area that seems to be completely abandoned.
Yeah.
But they have some shots. So like the shots of them again standing around. There's one where they're just like on ladders but not moving.
Yeah.
Which is fun. And then they start to show Katrina and she's dancing. But some of those early shots where they have like the two kind of groups of like the band and then her, she's in a they're both in windows, but like
I
different
love that shot.
windows in the building. And then they kind of do like a quick like pan or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's a different name because it's vertical, but like between them.
Yeah, that's a tilt. I think
tilt.
it's just a tilt. Yeah.
So yeah, but it's like quickly going between them. And I feel like if the video had been a bit more consistent with like that, they could have gone with a bit of a like theme there. It feels a little less focused, but it's early days.
It's early days, and
Yeah,
I
it's
do
85,
think they lose focus a bit in this and kind of try to incorporate a few different ideas because there seems to be maybe a plot line of like Katrina showing these surly lads the light. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you can have fun even in old cloudy England. And then there's also
even
the
in
them.
dreary old England. on
Dreary
a
England, we can still have a good
decent day.
time. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Like, she's really bringing some of that energy. And then
Yep.
there's also them getting ready for the show, which is like where it ends, which is very strange.
Yeah. But like, because it kind of goes through that, and there's, I don't love that, like, it goes into a close up of just like her face. It's fine, I guess. But like, after that, it starts showing, like, yeah, them performing on stage, and it just cuts between like them on stage, or like, yeah, cuts between the stage, cuts between the band being dreary, and then her just like dancing around randomly in her like red shoes.
Yeah, I love the shoe work in this one, though, where they're like, hey, check out everybody's shoes. Like 32 seconds in, it's just them. And it kind of like starts to play against the dudes because this is their shoes. So they got these big, dark trench coats.
Yeah.
And then they're wearing very bright, like red, blue
high
Converse. High tops. And like one of them's got red socks.
Betraying the color on the inside.
Yeah, but exactly. So it's like we're playing with this concept of like brightness and dreariness, which is maybe like her finding out that her long distance relationship is just going to be a regular distance relationship.
Yeah. Of her being excited and like them being not into it, at least at first.
Yeah.
And yeah, after that, it's just there's a few more shots of them like they're sitting on a statue thing, and then she kind of like comes out of a house, but it's like a mansion,
yeah,
like
it's
an
a big
estate,
spooky mansion,
and like and then it becomes like a walking thing where she's just like walking. She's like I'm walking, and she's walking on sunshine, but she like goes by. There's one point where she goes by the Tower Bridge, but I don't think that's yet, and it's just like foggy and dreary, and she's like.
You do actually see that bridge
bouncing.
at like 57 seconds in there.
Yes,
see it in the
we
back,
do.
yeah.
And it's very foggy, but she's very happy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cold. You can see her breath.
Yeah. I did wonder about that. I was like, fuck, like the boys are able to do as many shots as possible. They got big coats on.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder how tough this is for Katrina to shoot.
She's got to wear like short sleeves.
Yeah.
Medium sleeves. And yeah,
She's
it just like it
American.
shows them around London, I guess. Like there's a bit where they're by the water on like a rocky beach and there's some docks.
Yeah.
There, and then they kind of start to follow her around. I mean, they're her band, so
Yeah.
fair enough.
Exactly. Yeah, that's where it gets weird, is like they follow around and we're like in the story of this music video, I feel like they're supposed to be maybe strangers. But then in the truth of it and where the story takes is like that's her band members.
Yeah.
Like obviously why are they just standing and watching her from a distance?
Yeah, being dreary as she's like excited.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
it's
just
kind of funny, especially
kinda
because
funny.
when it cuts to them on stage, because it keeps cutting back and forth. It shows a lot of this is just them performing in like a black sound stage.
Yeah.
And the band's perfectly excited for that.
Yeah, they're doing like the classic like head shake and stuff. They're singing because like they're doing harmonies and shit.
Yeah.
They're very into the performance. So that might have been another way to take it, is have them be like reluctant into it and then have that kind of switch as they go throughout the
Yeah.
song.
Or something.
But there is like some good, like subtle, like at around 124, she's on like a rocky ass, like shitty London beach
Yeah.
being happy. And I think that's funny. Like,
Yeah, it's they got a lot of those like contrasting shots. And then once again, the band is just like on a wall, like hanging off the wall, not
Yeah.
moving. So that's
and just
fun.
like the fucking sheer misery of the dudes juxtaposed with Katrina just walking around and having a blast it's just good on its own. Like,
yeah. So a lot of it's effective. I feel like it could have been a little more consistent, but it's reasonable.
yeah, pretty reasonable. And like you said, 85. This is around the same. It's 2 years after, I think, Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, honestly,
first
the
music
song was.
video.
I mean, I have 83. Or maybe that's the wrong time.
It shouldn't be 83 for this.
Okay.
Because this is the re-recording.
Right. And yeah, well, they start following her around. I guess there's not too much else in the video other than like there's a bit where they slip in mud and one of them slips in mud. There's some shots of ducks and they're feeding ducks and stuff. And then eventually they like make their way to this place where they're performing, and then they get ready and then they go out. So it's like kind of connects the two halves of the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is strange. Yeah, they're feeding the ducks bread. You're not supposed to do that.
No.
We've learned
but we
now.
didn't know that in the 80s. We
We
thought
didn't know
they
that
loved
then.
it. They probably do love it.
Yeah, for sure they do. It's like, we eat garbage all the time that we shouldn't eat, and we love it.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, they
ducks
outro
to do
for a
the
while.
same thing. Yeah, they outro for a while. Yeah. All in all, it's an alright music video. But we got to talk about not just alright music videos, but varying degrees of quality of covers after
music
a short
videos.
break. That's right.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Da-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
And we're back to talk about covers starting in the year of our Lord 1995 with Reddbone and Rhonda.
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. And I'm gonna feel good.
Bone. Couldn't find a whole lot about Reddbone.
Yeah, when there's a more successful group called Reddbone spelled correctly, and
Yeah. It
Google
kind of took it all
stopped
up.
being a good search engine, it's very tough to.
Yeah.
But what I can grasp is he's the guy toasting on this, so he is
Seems
a
to be.
reggae performer of some kind.
Yeah, and Rhonda, also really vague. Like
A
there's
90s
Rhonda Vincent,
Euro
but that's not
house
this.
singer.
You found her.
No.
Okay, perfect.
I found her like a Discogs, and she was probably like Rhonda Brackets 2 or some shit. Like,
Yeah. Okay. You said house?
yes, Euro house singer.
You're a house singer. Okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense with her vocal performance too. You could derive that from context, if not from from a biography.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is the like kind of house or like reggae house version.
Yeah, I mean, it's 95. We've definitely got that sort of thing going on.
Yeah,
Thrown
it
into
sounds
Caribbean.
as 1995 as you can
flavor.
get. Yeah, Caribbean flavor. One of those weird things where like the emphasis and focus of this is not on the person actually singing the song. It's on the man toasting around it, being like, "Yes, Lord,
Oh, yes, we're walking on
that's
sunshine.
my girl, walking on sunshine." And it's like, okay, that's all
Yeah.
right.
He says a lot of things. There's a few sections where he does that in like an intro. Yes, all the people in chant, jump, and dance. Chant, maybe?
I think
Cause
yes,
we're
all
rocking
them
sunshine.
people chant, jump, and dance.
Yeah. Come on, my girlfriend. Oh, yes, that's my girl.
Oh, yes, that's my girl.
He says a lot of, oh, my baby. That's like in the verse a lot. Come on, come
Yeah.
with me, baby. Come, baby,
Come with
baby.
me,
all that
baby.
stuff. A lot of baby. I didn't get everything. I'm just trying to.
You know you make me feel fine. You know you're making that wine.
There you go.
got me walking on sunshine.
Got me walking on sunshine. Yep. What? Waking at 1? Maybe? No, that's probably not it. I think, yeah, you heard the wine thing. I didn't quite get that. Something about feeling fine.
Because it's got to rhyme with fine and
Yeah.
sunshine. So
That makes sense. That's in the chorus outro, like after the
Yeah.
chorus. So yeah, he gets his own little sections. And then something about this is the musical business. More about walking on sunshine. You got me walking on. You got me talking on. You got me moving on. You got me shaking on. Never faking on. You know, that kind of stuff.
yeah. Oh yes, that's my girl.
Oh
yeah. So this
That's my
is
girl.
like Rhonda's performance is wholly passable. It's very plain.
Yep.
She sings in key. It's very it's meant to be supporting the instruments rather than vice versa,
Sure.
and
yeah.
supporting the toasts. You know, because in the original, it's like the brass only gives Katrina the room to be like, "Whoa, yeah," and be as stoked as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas
he doesn't
here,
get super excited in that way.
She's just laying it down so we know it's walking on sunshine.
Yeah. It's kind of, I mean, like we're focusing around the beat, I guess, right? It's kind of a dance thing.
Yeah, it's a bit dancey. We got some drums. The verses really focus on like kind of muted guitars. One a little jangly, one very like.
Yeah, it's pretty simplified. I mean, especially like in the chorus, it's just like longer guitar chords.
Yeah.
Which is a little different. And then it's not like super different. The drums are like more electronic. This kind of play these like airy synths. And then the horns part is on a synth. So all that,
Yeah.
that makes sense for the
And that's
genre.
the thing is, in '95, you could have emailed these tracks. So,
Absolutely. They're still talking about mail in 95?
in '95, bizarre. We were in a transitional phase here. We hadn't quite fully figured
Yeah, they
things
didn't
out.
have
but-
BlackBerry yet, so.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. There's a big emphasis on the more electronic elements, the synths, the synthetic drums, all to support just whatever comes through Reddbone's head. Oh yes, and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's very much based around that. And like, yeah, it works fine enough.
Yeah, it works fine. It's still energetic, right? It's still
Yeah.
a very happy feeling song.
The song's pretty basic, so it all still fits that
Yeah,
vibe.
highly malleable.
About the
If
vibes.
it's all about the vibes, and he fits that. And you know, as much as some of it is whatever, I think that you know, you make me feel fine. You know, you're making that wine. You got me walking on sunshine. He slots that one in pretty good.
Yeah, just throw a little rhyme in there, and it's like a quick one. It's fun.
Yeah, and it references the song itself. You're like, hey, all right.
Yeah.
Worth noting that this is the Solution Airplay mix. This
I
is
didn't
off
notice that.
an album of 6 tracks of different mixes, including the Chubby Radio mix, the Solution Extended mix, the Chubby Sunshine Club mix, the Pressed for Time Club mix, which is somehow the longest
It's the
version,
longest one.
and the Beirut Club mix. So we're talking about the Solution
Oh.
Airplay mix, folks.
Not Beirut, Beirut. B-A-Y.
Yeah, oh yeah, like
space
Bay
R-U-T-E, not-
space root.
Is that all jokes? Like, is that because Beirut? Like, what does that mean? Is it supposed to be? And like, Press for Time is the longest one. So like, I feel like they're
Yeah.
just fucking with us.
And Chubby? What
Chubby radio? I don't know.
the hell?
I don't know.
No, it could be jokes. I don't understand Reddbone entirely, but this as like a piece of 1995 club dance music makes a whole lot of sense to me, man.
Yeah,
A little
I would
80s
be
nostalgia thrown in
shocked
there.
if this didn't exist.
Yeah,
I think there's one of these for every song ever written.
exactly. If it's not by Reddbone, it's by somebody who looks exactly like him, kind of thing. Like somebody's making them.
Yeah.
But what doesn't just come around for the decade, you know, is more of a life for here. Somebody's been here for years and years. We've talked about her before in the summer.
We have.
for her detestment of the 9-to-5 workday. That's right, it's Dolly Parton in 1996.
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, and it's time to feel good.
It is Dolly herself. Yeah, I mean, music legend, really.
Music
Country
legend.
music mostly, as well as acting and philanthropy. She does those things.
Yeah,
as
she
well.
single-handedly made the COVID-19 vaccine. So
Yeah,
that's-
so way to go.
as
Dolly.
I understand it, way to go, Dolly. And she has a theme park, just like Walt Disney.
Yeah. So that's pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, we talked about, like you said, we talked about her song 9 to 5 a while back. Way back.
Yeah, that was 2 summers ago, I
2 summers
believe.
ago. Wow. And this version, I mean, it's country.
It's country. It's well done country. There is apparently a dance mix of this that exists.
Oh.
We're not talking about that, though.
No. We certainly are
But
not.
people like this version. It was moderately successful. We open with like acoustic guitar and kind of like a sort of driving drum rhythm.
Yeah. You get that real, like, country driving rhythm.
Yeah, there's like a gallop to it. Get some violin in the mix.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, fiddle. It's violin, but, you know.
But
It's
it's
fiddle.
country, so we call it a
So
fiddle.
we call it fiddle. So it's real. Yeah, it's real country.
rock.
It really, I mean, it's relatively standard, like sounding. Like they put the driving rhythm in. The bass also gives us a good momentum. Ba-bum,
Yeah.
ba-bum, ba-bum. Like it's
Dun,
Graceland,
dun,
you know.
dun, dun.
It's a walking song. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
To have that motion, so it works. It's all very logical. Like it's not totally out there,
Mhm.
but like it's
And
well
not
executed.
like yeah, well executed without being like technically intense or superfluous.
Yeah.
There's not like some massive arrangement or some wild bass. It's like here's a kind of upbeat, faster paced drum rhythm. Here's a bass that bounces alongside of it. That gives a space for Dolly to sing.
Yeah,
She sings pretty like quiet. She's not belting anything here.
No,
It's not in the verse.
it's all pretty straightforward. So like it ends up being like fine. There are some interesting parts with backup vocals. They sound quite different from the original, and it's almost more like a harmonizer sound. I don't know if it is a harmonizer or if there's a lot of tracks.
Yeah, you get a weird thing kind of like in the 90s to early 2000s, I think, with older musicians. Where
Yeah.
They're working with the newer tech in strange ways
Wow.
that don't
And it was
always
new.
like line up.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
and it was
We're
new.
still figuring things out.
So yeah,
Um,
you're right. There's an interesting auditory quality to those backing vocals. I was more distracted by what they were saying,
Whoa.
which is that it's time to feel good.
Oh yeah, she has some like variations on that, eh?
It is time to feel good.
Time
Uh,
to feel good.
It's
Hey.
time to feel good. That's sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That has a bit of like hootenanny vibe to it, like
Time to feel
getting
good.
the saloon going, you know?
Yeah. Let's get going. Yeah, okay. I mean, it has so much motion. Yeah, it works. It works. It's
It
not
works.
that different,
It works.
right?
It's not that
Um,
different. Although, like,
yeah.
don't it feel good implies that it's already happening. Time to feel good is like it's time. Now
Like, let's do it. All right, we're
commences
there.
the good feeling.
Yeah. That's true. There's a little bit different. It's a little different in the when it's happening.
And when it's happening, and then with a song that has so little going on in it lyrically, we gotta laser in on these details.
Yeah. What else goes on in this song? There is a little like guitar, violin, like trade-off solo section, instrumental section.
That's
Where
right.
each one like plays for a couple bars and then switches to the other one. They play for a couple bars, switches back, kind of thing. For a
Yeah,
little
because
while.
on the first chorus to second verse break, we get like just the violin,
Yeah,
and then I believe after the second chorus, you get the like kind of solo trade-off section.
yeah. And then the outro has quite a bit of violin as well.
That's right.
And then they do
And-
the like ending shine, 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 and like
Shine,
that's it.
shine.
It's over.
Yeah, and they're out.
But yeah, I think like like we said, there's not anything crazy new or different in this one, but like it's solid ideas from the genre that fit the song.
Yeah, and it's like, I think most people are just going to go nuts hearing Dolly Parton on a track. Like,
Yeah.
she's got that strong of a following, it doesn't really matter what she puts out.
Yeah, to a degree. Apparently she,
To a degree.
like in the 90s, had a bit of a slump, but I feel like a lot of
Oh, yeah.
older artists had a bit of a slump in the 90s because that was just a time where people wanted different things.
Because, yeah, people wanted Plaid, they want Kurt Cobain, they wanted Pearl Jam, baby.
And the movie American Beauty, apparently.
And the movie American Beauty. And the movie American Psycho?
Maybe.
Maybe.
That would have been a great transition in a few songs, but we'll get there.
That would, but unfortunately not. Now we'll do a real clunky one into Baron Zen in 2006.
Yeah, Baron Zen.
I'm walking on sunshine. Wow, I'm walking on sunshine. Wow, walking on sunshine. Wow, it kind of feels good.
So a guy named Sweet Steve, according to his Wikipedia page, which is very, very clearly self-edited.
Yeah, so he might, sometimes maybe messing with us. But yeah, this is Sweet Steve is Baron Zen, which are both nicknames.
Yes, those
Could
are
be
both
anybody.
nom de plumes.
Yeah. Apparently been around for a while. This is very like, I mean, it's described
Frank
as DIY
Sidebottom.
music.
Yeah.
That likes that likes to play pop songs. And this is a pop song covered by this very like DIY sounding thing. I guess lo-fi is what you would call it.
Yeah, if you had the creative sensibilities of Frank Sidebottom with the recording equipment of Daniel Johnston, you've got Baron Zen.
Sounds about right. And also like kind of the punk side of things where it's like, I don't care if I'm hitting the notes. Like, it doesn't matter.
It's meant to kind of suck, similar to King Usnevich and his Usnevich tones.
Yes, very similar to Usnevich. A little more straightforward, I think.
Yeah.
They didn't create like two separate, possibly both fictional backstories.
Yeah, there's a lot less smoke and mirrors here. It's
Yeah.
mostly just like a buzzy synth and some electronic drums.
Yeah, and then like fairly monotone singing.
I used to fuck baby, you love me.
Now, baby, I'm sure.
Now,
And it,
baby, I'm sure.
really, like the tapes sound like they've been stepped on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like everything is rough sounding. I said he doesn't do much to hit the notes, which is true, but he also isn't really doing much to follow the rhythm, like a little bit. He's following it, but like when he falls behind, and there's a few points in the song where they typically, the syllables come in a bit faster. He doesn't adjust his speed really, so he gets behind a little bit and then eventually catches up when there's a break. So like it's fine.
It's fine.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter, but like, that's the nature of the song.
That is the nature of the song. He tries to have
wow.
Wow. Yeah, he tries to have a bit of a personality here and there. When he first enters the chorus, he goes, "You know why?
I'm
And he goes,
walking on sunshine. Yeah.
I think he says, I was shocked at first because I thought he was covering the Dolly Parton version. I thought he said, "It's time to feel good."
Oh.
I think he says, "It kind of feels good."
Kind of feels good. I could see
Yeah.
that. A little bit of that like slacker energy.
Yeah.
Like it kind of feels good. Like whatever. Very dismissive.
Yeah, he's a real burnout. He's like, "Yeah, I feel it. This feels
Burnout.
good,
Yeah,
I
that's
guess."
That's it. What else has happened? He had some other lines in the middle 8/bridge. Right? No, right at the end. He says, "I feel alive" 7 times. I feel alive, I feel alive, I feel alive, I feel alive. And then says, "But I'm dead." It's very I don't know. It feels very like it's kind of punkish, but it's very like straightforward. Like I don't know.
A
What
little
am I
punkish,
trying to
a little
think of?
childish.
Childish, yeah.
It's a very like basic and dumb joke.
It makes me think, and the 2006 is probably the right time frame. But when I think of like the sort of like gross out humor, like not gross out really, but that vein of
Yeah,
just
that sort
like
of juvenile
defiance.
Yeah. But I did. Honestly, it won me back a little bit, though. I was ready to
Yeah.
fully condemn this. That
Yeah,
dumb joke at the end.
It's
I'm a little bit back.
endearing in that like sort of time capsule way, you know.
Yeah.
And
And the same
obviously,
way Reddbone is its own time capsule, so is this one,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, a very different time capsule, but
Mm-hmm.
a time capsule no less. So it has that going for it for sure. It was fine. It's fine. It was fun enough.
Fine.
But definitely like they wanted to make it sound like bad on purpose.
Yeah. But I guess we should talk about people who make it sound okay on accident. A band we talked about
Okay
before,
on accident.
Jazzystics, 2007.
Jazzystics.
Jazzystics.
I'm walking in sunshine. Oh, I'm walking in sunshine. Oh, I'm walking in sunshine. Oh, and God, it feel good.
So we talked about these guys a few times, and I always think in my brain, and maybe it's because I like their dumb name. I'm like, yeah, these guys are all right. And no, these are just like two dudes who got together and got Karen Souza to start singing jazz for them.
Right.
That's like their origin story on Spotify.
Huh. Yeah, okay, fun. And we've talked about them several times.
Several times.
I searched it, but I forgot to write down what they were.
No Diggity was one of them because
Yes,
I
it
actually
was.
dug through my old notes to figure out their who the fuck they were.
Oh. Yes, no diggity for sure. And I
No
think
diggity.
we talked about them 2 or 3 times at least.
2 or 3 times. And I will say this: they're that style of cafe jazz reggae kind of like
reggae.
weird mass that lives in the streaming services and like YouTube.
Yeah, like this
it's-
works perfectly fine. You know, they do the jazz things. They have the brushy drums. They have the jazz chords
Mhm.
on the piano. The guitar is playing like the that jazz chords kind of thing.
Yeah, I
The
will
piano-
say they
sounds nice.
do better here than on other songs. I think.
Okay.
They managed to keep it pretty up. I
Yeah.
don't think their singer is Karen Souza. I don't know who
Doesn't
it is
sound
on this
like
though.
her.
But she has a pretty good voice to her. Yeah, it's like of all of these like jazz genre covers, this one's not that bad.
It's perfectly fine. You know,
yeah, that's perfectly fine.
It has a nice little like surprise saxophone, comes in with a solo and then like sticks around.
Yes.
The solos are not sort of too long, as can happen with some
Yeah, we're
very-
running to 3:20 seconds here, so 3 minutes
Yeah.
20 seconds, so it's good and tight.
Still all fine. Again, I didn't think it was like all that much going on, but like it's a decent straightforward conversion into jazz. And the solos, yeah, like I said, solos aren't too bad. They mostly like this outro on this song is so long on the original.
Yeah,
Like they just kind of need to take away from that a bit, and then you can put a solo throughout the song, and like it's fine. It doesn't matter that much.
and it was like the sax solo came in. I was like, hell yeah, that sax should have stayed. And then it came back, and I was like, all right,
Good, yes, awesome.
they're listening to me.
Oh yeah, it comes back at the end. Yeah, that's right. The only other thing, there's an organ. It doesn't do a whole lot, but there is an organ there that plays kind of in the cracks.
Sure does.
The like mostly between lines, but it also kind of does a drone later on. But not for very long.
Yeah, you get little like trills and stuff on the keys here
Yeah.
and there. I
Yeah.
think the way that it opens up into the chorus, things get a lot smoother. The bass moves to a walking line. I think that transition works really well. Yeah, perfectly fine, man.
Perfectly fine. Much better than the music video.
Is there a music video for this
Oh,
one? I
there
missed
sure
it.
is.
Tell me more.
Let me tell you about the
more.
music video. So it's entirely animated, and it's all about like cartoon cat bromance.
Okay. I didn't think it was real. I saw that
Yeah.
fucking... I was like, there's no fucking
There's no
way.
Kind of, you know, it's not an expensive animation. Animation's probably expensive no matter what.
Yeah,
Like,
these are licensed like Hanna-Barbera characters too.
yeah, some of them looked familiar. I don't know the names of the characters, but this yellow cat with a purple hat is like romancing another like business lady cat. But he's also kind of famous, maybe himself, but like he looks like he's pretending to
So
be
that's
famous.
the character Top Cat.
Top Cat. All right, so this is Top Cat.
I don't know who this businesswoman cat is though.
Trying to romance a business cat. And like it's like there's a bit where he's like riding alongside vehicles, like he's not in the limo, he's like on the on the wheel thing.
I see that, and he's
And
looking
he's
at the
like
the
holding
Statue
onto
of
a
Liberty.
helicopter, and like he goes onto a red carpet, but he like just kind of walks past the stars, and they like kind of scowl at him. So it's like, is he not supposed to be there?
Yeah, I'm a little curious because there's a lot of like lip movement going on these guys, and it's not
Yeah.
synced up. So did they just like steal this?
Is it taken from something else?
Yeah, is this from
even
some,
a
like,
real music video? Because T Pro Media sounds like a real thing,
T-Pro Me? Yeah,
but also kind of like a
it's-
fake thing.
It's right in the middle there. Let me see what the fandom page for Top Cat character says, also known as TC. Let me check his filmography. Okay, Top Cat and the Beverly Hills Cat. Ooh, wait, and Beverly Hills Cats, 1988. No, this couldn't
This
be
is New York.
1988.
This isn't Beverly Hills.
No. Top Cat the movie, Top Cat Begins. These would be my kind of... Let me see here. Top Cat, that's not going to be at 1988's too. Okay, wait. The cat is back in Top Cat the movie. No, none of those characters look familiar. Okay, no, that's too... I don't know, dude. This is very strange.
Yeah, okay, so it might not be real. I might have been bamboozled by this, but it's a whole like anthropomorphic cat romance. They go to this tiki restaurant a couple times, and then after he's leaving the second time, it's mostly just him walking home and like thinking about things that happened in the past, and then he goes and hangs out with his other friends and they play music, and like that's it.
Right.
And they just like bang trash can lids together. And again,
Hell
that's
yeah.
I recognize the dog, but like I don't really know these characters. Is Yogi Bear there? No.
He is like Yogi Bear is associated with him, I think. They
Yeah,
appear
but
in the same...
These are all cats and then one dog. But it's like pretty, I don't know. They've got these like 3D backgrounds and then the
Yeah.
and then the 2D characters, and they don't look great
No, they certainly don't.
together. It's all very, I don't know, like Flash animation-y. Not to,
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's a very distinct, like, weird style. And it's... I don't know about this, man.
Anyway.
This is a very strange thing.
we don't need to talk about that too much. It exists.
We got to talk about Top Cat a little more. No,
Okay.
it exists. It exists, but is it real? We don't know for sure.
Is it real? I don't know. There's some shots of the Brooklyn Bridge. That's real. That's a real thing.
But you know what else is real? Is Rio, which
Yeah.
we're going to take ourselves to with the Take Me to Rio collective featuring Katrina Leskanich,
No, they're
2016.
And I'm walking on sunshine. I'm walking on sunshine. I'm walking on sunshine. And to the beat.
Katrina.
Leskanich.
Leskanich.
So this is actually so Take Me to Rio collective is really just like a singular project by the Berman brothers, Christian and Frank Bierman.
Yeah, and what they're taking to Rio is pop songs and basically making them samba. I believe it's samba. But, like,
Yeah.
it's Brazilian music is the
Yeah, so they're Rioing them up for the Rio Olympics, which this was kind of released
2016.
in.
Makes sense. Makes
yeah.
sense.
And what we have here is basically the most like built for a Caribbean cruise ad version you've ever
Would you
heard.
say it's a Rio good time?
Do you know what, Alex? I just might.
Anyway, Take Me to Rio Collective. Yeah. So I
Take
mean,
me to Rio.
so what they've done for this version, there's a few things going on. It's slowed down a little bit, but like
Yes.
because like it's basically synced up with this like samba rhythm, primarily on the piano and I guess the drums.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
get the real big, like, the Olympic Games are happening drums at the start. Dum, 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 dum,
Yeah,
dum,
which
dum.
I kind of didn't. I forgot about the Olympics. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
But yeah.
well, you know, it was a good year
was
for
big.
Sega that year. They brought a lot of gold medals home. Weirdly enough, though, not in the relay. Mario had him crushed there.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. They're not making those anymore, you know.
No, they're not making those anymore.
Which I've never played one in my life, so
I hear it's because both teams were caught juicing, so they were actually disqualified.
they were both disqualified. That's how Mario can look like that and still perform well at the sports.
That's right. So now you will see, there are athletes from the Mushroom Kingdom at the Paris Olympics, but they're not really competing for their country anymore. So it's
Yeah, they're
a bit of
considered,
controversy.
like, what do they call the like Russian athletes? I can't remember now. They're like not free agents.
Free agents.
I don't know. They just have like an
Russian
Olympic flag.
agents.
Yeah, right. Or agents of the Kremlin.
So they're actually back as the USSR on like a technicality.
No one wrote the rule that says they couldn't compete anymore. But this is the samba version, right? Like the drums are heavy. Like you mentioned they're heavy. The piano's playing that rhythm, and then of course the drums are really going with the how does it go? Da, 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 da.
Yeah, it's got that kind of like a rolling rhythm that I think is good for samba dancing.
Yeah. There's lots of like horns going on playing the riff, which is probably the most fitting part. There's an electric piano that's really just kind of playing a basic rhythm, but like alongside the other piano. There's also, so I don't know what this sound is, but I've heard it, and I feel like we used to hear it because like Central and maybe South American music was really popular for a while when we were like in our early teen years.
Yeah.
Maybe even before that. But like woof, 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 like dog barking sound.
Yeah, like what is it? Is that a
thing?
person
I
or
don't know
an
what that
instrument?
is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. But it kind of sounds like one of those like Yamaha keyboards where like you switch it to animal sounds and it's like woof, 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 meow, 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 you know?
Yeah,
like
I know
each
the
key
one.
is a different animal sound. So that's fun.
It is pretty fun, isn't it? Big
yeah.
energy on this. You got the original singer on this, and she sings about as well. Like,
Yeah. Sounds good.
so it's good. This version feels like pretty safe, I guess. It's very like it doesn't feel like a leap by any means. Like we'll do
No.
it bigger. It's like what if Walking on Sunshine was bigger?
Yeah, like
yeah.
it feels like it would work well in a parade or whatever. I'm just thinking of like Carnival.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. Other than that, it's fine.
Yeah. They do the interesting choice of making the chorus actually smaller, though,
Yes.
instrumentally.
So they like build up drums and everything like over the course of the verse, and then the chorus
Yeah.
drops down. But then after the end of the chorus, you kind of get your like party section.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. And that's like the biggest structural change, I would say.
Yeah. They really like their big horns and their big drums. And that's kind of like, I mean, yeah, that's it.
That's most
really
of it.
for
It's
what's
fun
new and
enough.
unique. It's fun enough, and it's clearly meant to have like an advertising feature to it because they do have a 1.5-minute music video that serves as an ad for the album.
Oh, I didn't even see this video.
I did. So like imagine an advertisement for going to Rio. Like just imagine the footage they would use and then play
that's
this
why I
over
didn't
top.
Believe it.
Yeah.
Right, because I saw like a photograph of like people on a beach, and I was like, "That's not a real music video."
No, it's the real deal. So you get like this like montage. We mostly follow this one curly-haired woman through Rio. We get shots of Christ the Redeemer, obviously,
Right.
and just like beach volleyball, dudes in the studio for a bit, and this woman just kind of walking about Rio and having a good time.
Having a good time, going to the beach, watching people play soccer.
Yeah, you get the
Et cetera.
Brazilian flag, etc.
Okay.
And then at the end, we get like nice 3D rendering of the CD case.
Buy the CD. Wow. Take me to
Look
Rio.
at that. Take me to
Ultimate
Rio.
hits made in the iconic sound of Brazil.
That's right, baby. So yeah, this version, safe, big,
Wow.
Kinda forgettable.
Brian Ferry.
Brian Ferry.
Yeah. I mean, it like you said, it's an ad,
It's an ad, baby. It's an advertisement,
which is fine.
which is fine. This
Then-
next version, also kind of an advertisement.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. Ice 9 Kills and Real Big
And
Fish.
Real Big
in
Fish.
2024.
That's fun.
I'm walking on sunshine. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. I'm walking on sunshine. And don't it feel good? Hey.
So I don't think we've ever talked about Ice 9 Kills. They're a heavy metal band. I don't
That's
know
right.
anything about them other than their name is a reference to Cat's Cradle,
Okay,
which is a pretty good
interesting.
book. And then, of course, Real Big Fish we talked about several times now. They're a ska punk group that were a little bigger in the 90s when there was a third wave of ska happening.
Yeah, and it was mainstream.
Yeah, nowadays they're still around, but sort of doing their own thing because ska is not really very big anymore. And we talked about them for Take On Me.
That's right.
That's kind of their big cover that I've actually heard referenced in other places. So that's cool.
Yeah, because it did get some traction. But yeah, Real Big Fish, they're around. They are one of the like big ska groups we'll talk about occasionally. It's Real Big Fish. And then the other guys who have fish in their name, but it's Fish Hook, but it's spelled Gotti.
Oh, right. Those
Ghoti.
guys. And then like the Acrobats?
The Aquabats, sure, yeah.
Anyway, we don't need to get too much into ska. Is there anything else?
So this is this is for American Psycho, the comic series.
Yeah, the comic book, the soundtrack. I didn't know there was an American Psycho comic. It doesn't surprise me. There was a Fight Club 2
Fight Club 2, yeah.
So
I read the first issue of that.
Because it was free? Because that's why I read it.
That's correct. I was probably using your app to read it. So
Probably. What else goes on here? Oh, right, a song.
A whole song. And here's the thing. I know what you're all thinking at home. How do you blend heavy metal and ska? The answer is you kind of just don't, and it works.
It's not really like ska. It's really more like the punk side of them, but you get a little bit of that because it does. So the verses kind of have three parts. Like the intro, the guitar is a little more ska. Like it's not like skanking, but it's not like that really heavy distorted guitar. And then,
it's like skank adjacent.
Yeah. Or like the sound would work with that, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a few lines where you get like, there's like a kind of rhythm machine style drums, and then it goes into the distorted metal guitars, which stay for the chorus.
Yeah.
So that's like the verses, and that's kind of their structure of their two verses, which I mean, that sound is an interesting like progression across the sounds of the band in a way that's logical. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And tied together with the brass of Real Big Fish.
Which makes a lot of sense. Obviously, this song has a lot of brass in it. So they play the riff.
Yeah, and like it'll combine with like when they're doing the metal guitar chugs, you'll get the brass mirroring that. And like you said, I guess the meeting ground of these two is kind of punk because the vocals seem to kind of fit well for both of those.
Yeah, for sure. That what I would say is this song felt more metal to me. I think mostly because of the drums, because the drums are very like busy and a lot of like double kick and stuff.
Yeah, the drums for sure. The guitar as well, which predominantly does a lot of like kind of hardcore to metal to like tone wise and like what it's playing.
It's very distorted.
It's very distorted. It's very much not ska, except for when they're doing the kind of the original rhythm riff in the verses.
Yeah.
But they keep this like high energy area of it. We don't really get in the sludge and the mire of metal here, though we do get growl vocals that I also think still manage to keep things up.
Just for a little bit too, right? There's like a lot of vocals that come in later on. Where like they'll trade off and you'll get like a growly voice and then like more pop punk, like higher compressed voice and then like a screaming type voice, but really only for a little bit.
Yeah, but you still get, I think you get a little more near the end.
Yeah.
But it's, it all plays together pretty well. I was surprised to see and hear how well this one worked for me.
Yeah, especially I'm like coming in, I was thinking like, how are they going to mix those? They're both like rock related genres though, so it does make sense.
Sure, yeah. But then there's the third factor, which is making Walking on Sunshine.
True.
And I think that works too.
I mean, it's such like both genres are known for being so energetic.
Mm-hmm.
And then like playing this really energetic song, I think makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it works. I'm trying to think if there's any like more details. There is a guitar solo. It's more like on the metal side, kind of shredding guitar. Although I think the guy from Real Big Fish plays it. So
okay,
just based
on
the
the music video. Yeah. It is like a more kind of like high flying like 80s hair metal sort of guitar tone and solo. It's not so much like low and dirty, which I associate with more modern metal, but something like high and like a bit of reverb on there or something, or another effect
Okay.
that my brain can't think of right now.
Chorus?
Sure, yeah, chorus.
Flanger?
You know what? Flanger, put them all on there, baby. Now you're playing metal guitar.
Yeah. Maybe. Gent? It's not an effect.
Gent, of course.
I think it's a bass
I'm a
thing.
gentleman. Yeah, I think this version rips. I think it's great.
Yeah. And it has a music video.
And it has a music video, which is like... So I like the opening because we got this this fake like MTV style logo for Ice Nine Kills,
Right. That's cool.
which shortens to Ink, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then sort of a reference to the movie with his facial routine. Patrick Bateman had like the intro of the film as his
Yeah.
like him doing his facial routine.
Peels that face mask off
Yeah.
and just looks like he's pulling the skin off.
And then we get Ice Nine Kills Presents. And so we have like animations of like key American Psycho moments.
Yeah,
With-
it's kind of three different types of shots.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's the animation. There's images of the band members acting things out, but like they have a like graphic novel filter over, like comic book filter.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's
we
just-
do get them like introduced as characters too. So
True.
it'll be so-and-so is the psycho,
That's
this
true.
other guy's the detective.
Yeah, so it's like kind of one against the other.
Yeah.
And then them just performing in a room, like a dark sound.
Yeah, and a black space with, sort of like scawed up American Psycho wardrobe because it's like business suits.
Yeah, business suits, but only the killer, the psycho,
Has the full
has
like
the,
suit jacket.
the jacket on, and everyone else just
Yeah.
has like suspenders.
That's right, baby. So you get your key moments, the laughing at the business card, then a business card left at a crime scene. These are the animation ones.
Yeah,
The sex worker attempting to murder Patrick Bateman.
but she like counter murders.
Yeah, he just pulls an Uno reverse.
But that one also is a transition, right? Because he walks
to
up to her.
the live actors.
It's animated, and then it switches
Yeah.
to live actors, and then he like grabs the axe or something.
Yeah, we get sound effects in this that we don't get in the actual song. We get some screaming and some like axe noises.
Yes.
Yeah, fun little promo video for a project. The detective and the killer walk off together at the end.
Yeah, there you go.
And we go back to the face peel, and then things go out. So I don't know if the American Psycho comic is just a retelling of the story, if it's a continuation or what.
Yeah, I don't know
But
either.
it exists. So does this music video.
Look it up.
And so too do our final verdicts, of which there are 3 categories today.
Okay, wait, no, there's one more thing I wanted to say about the video.
Okay, tell
You
me.
talked about the
Alex.
scene where they have the debate in the room,
No,
but they're clearly just saying the song lyrics.
I didn't even notice
Okay,
that. When does that
235
happen?
is the timestamp. They're like the two. Is it the two of them?
Oh yeah. They're in the like an interrogation room, or actually
Yeah.
it's probably his office.
Yeah. So they're like, I guess, discussing whatever. I don't know.
Right.
Crime things. He's
Well, yeah, he's
interrogating them,
asking him
maybe?
where he was.
But they're like kind of shouting at each other. But they're clearly both just saying like, "I feel alive. I feel the love. I feel alive."
Hey, that's pretty good, Alex.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's pretty fun. I'm glad you stopped me for that. And now
Yeah.
I'm going to stop this to talk about
Just-
our final verdicts,
yeah.
which we got 3 categories today. The worst version, the best version, and the craziest version, because the original song
Crazy.
featured in American Psycho, and one of the songs features in American Psycho, the soundtrack for the comic series, or the comic book. It might just be one. I think it said series. Which was crazy. Alex, what's the worst version?
What's the worst version of this song? It's probably "Take Me to Rio." I didn't love Redbone, but like it's amusing enough. And,
Yeah.
like Dolly Parton, it works, even though it's not surprising. I don't know why I put Dolly Parton on the worst contender.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing there,
isn't
Alex.
really. The other ones are all like fine or interesting, but not really. "Take Me to Rio."
Yeah, you're a big Baron Zen fan, huh?
I guess so.
I was going to give it to Baron Zen. I might still. It's pretty flat. At least like the
Yeah.
Take Me to Rio one has some bigness to it. Baron Zen, yeah, as much as I like a punk rock loser, it's He's no King Yusnevich. I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you that.
Alex, what's the best version of this?
Best version of this. I mean, I think I really like the Ice Nine Kills Real Big Fish
Yeah, 100%.
one. It's a lot of fun.
It's a blast.
Yeah, the most. At least for me, it's the most fun.
Hey,
It's a fun song. They make it
it's
fun.
a fun song, and it's a fun combination. I didn't expect it to work, but it does. So hey, Alex, what's the craziest version of this?
What's the craziest
That's
version?
crazy.
Probably Baron Zen. He goes a little crazy.
He's a madman.
Not an advisable path to take, but he takes it, and yeah.
Yeah,
It
I think
exists.
the other guy taking unadvisable paths is Reddbone with his
Reddbone,
I can
yeah.
pave the path to success by being a hype man for another singer on my own album. It's a strange move. It's a strange version. And of course, his album is actually just 6 versions of the same song. I think this man is crazy. That's my final verdict. Y'all got different opinions, similar opinions. Want to talk to us about a version we didn't talk about? Hit us up on the app, formerly known as Twitter, #CoverMePod, @SnakeyMe, @some Alex Wise Guy. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, suggestions for future episodes. You can also email those to us at covermepod@gmail.com. Talk to us there. Be sure to rate and review us. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Amazon Podcasts, Spotify. We're on Podurama, Podbean. Another one, Pocket Casts. That's the other one I try to say. All the obscure podcasting apps. We're on the really indie ones.
Yeah.
You can find us there. Rate, review us. Tell your friends, family, neighbors, and loved ones about us. What you can do this week to really get the word out there is just have a frank heart-to-heart with your family. Kids, especially, this will work on them because they respect you. You just sit them down and say, it's time we finally talk about Cover Me. In fact, if you could make it mandatory reading or listening for your children as like a summer assignment, I know we're late in summer now, and it's maybe do it as a back-to-school assignment. Be like, it's time to learn about music history the only reliable way through this independent podcast that gets most of its facts from Wikipedia. I'm really selling it today, huh?
Yeah.
That's what you can do. That does it for today's episode of Cover Me. And as we always say on Cover Me, every time I listen to Cover Me, I gotta hold myself down.